I want to welcome Lorelei. Hi, Lorelei.
Oh, hi everybody.
Your aura is so bright, I just have to say.
Wow. So can I just share?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we all know that the world has changed, that there's a new normal, even if we don't know what it is. Many of us are feeling this need to step up and be more of who we are, to be in service, whatever that would look like. And for myself, and Cindy, you really helped me see that I was carrying energy, not just for myself, but for others. But where I've been, I've loved the lockdown because I didn't have to talk to anybody. And my first reaction, I think, when all this went down was, well, how am I to be in service? Like, who's going to spend money with what I do? Like totally devaluing myself, feeling no sense of worth or not much, and really getting to a place where, like, feeling the excitement that there's this new opportunity for all of us, but knowing that, at least for myself, but this is for all of us, that certain changes would need to be made in me, and I didn't know if I could make them. And so I kept getting to a place of, I don't know how to leave and I don't know how to stay on the planet. I didn't consciously say I'm going to kill myself. I thought that's not an option, and I don't judge that, but that's not an option. I thought, well, if that's not an option and you don't know how to stay, then you're going to have to get sick and go. And isn't this convenient that this virus is going on? So I went through periods of not sleeping and depression and what am I to do here, and all of that, and feeling a sadness, like all these people that I'm seeing stepping up, even though they don't have a clue either, like they're going to get on the ark, and I'm going to be left behind to this new world that we're going to this new, new place of, call it 4D, call it 5D, call it certainly out of some of the density of this planet. All stuff that I'm learning, by the way, now I have to say. So when our church decided it wasn't going to open up until July 1st, I was thrilled because I belong to this fabulous Unity church, and I'm a chaplain, but I didn't want to connect with people because I thought people are going to see through me. They're going to see where I'm not being authentic, and because for me, for a couple of months, it felt like my life, I was going through the motions. And I don't know about any of you, but going through the motions feels like shit. I mean, in other words, because it's sort of like I'm someone who's inspired to be here, I thought, and serve as some sort of a light for others. But when I don't see it in myself, how the hell am I going to, mirror it back to anybody else? So that's where I've been. I've been in this, masks, gloves. Again, I'm not for or against masks. This is not that kind of a conversation, but seeing what was being unmasked in me and what I wasn't liking, more of it. And then again, there would be, every 3 days, 2 nights, I wouldn't sleep at all. And then when we got to the lesson in the Course in Miracles about, that sickness is a defense against the truth. And I went, oh my God, all this energy of mine around not sleeping and drawing attention to that, and it being a separation and an isolation thing, essentially. So I kept thinking in my saner moments, boy, wouldn't it be great to be on the other side of what I'm describing to all of you, because then I could be in service. So I've moved through it enough to be able to do that. But that's where the greatest sadness was. It was, I don't know how to serve in all of this. I don't know. So I'm just going to go hide. And for me, there was a number of weeks where all I wanted to do was sleep and eat and watch television. And that's what I did. I mean, I did my work, but it didn't feel like it came from an authentic place. And you, Cindy, helped me see that where I was exactly where I needed to be, carrying whatever I was carrying for me, but for anyone else. But, because I do miracle minutes and I do stuff, where but I was looking at that going, wow, you don't just want to be on for the sake of being on. You want to shine your light. You want to be inspired and be an inspiration and bring what, not grab whatever. Oh my God, COVID and how money, people aren't spending money and whatever. I mean, talk about the gap between love and fear. It's never been so great, and I was right there going, like I said, I don't know how to stay. I don't know how to leave. And that would feel pretty yucky, walking around like that going, I don't know what to do with this. So I just kept going to I don't know, a deeper level of trust, or I have no idea. But it feels to me, and I'm sharing this now because I'm a Venus, I'm a double Venus. I'm a Libra with a Taurus moon. That's the two signs of the zodiac associated with Venus. And Venus is one of the retrograde planets. So it's like all of a sudden I refound my own value or my own worth in talking with like a good friend like you, Cindy. You know, Venus for me is cycling is going backwards in my Aquarius house, the house of friends, the house of groups. So it's like I reconnected to some part of me, even though I don't have a lot of answers now, but I have the excitement that I am going on the journey. I'm not, wherever
That's
we're
what I
going.
recognize today, is that the journey, you've been on the journey the whole time. And just like when I get a download and, you know, I'm told 2 words and then I've got to go on a treasure hunt to find out what it means.
Yeah,
That happens all the time. And the word of this week, does anybody want to share to Lorelei the word of the week?
Oh, I'm writing it down.
Okay, does anybody remember? And we've been talking about it all week.
Come on, guys. Somebody's got to know it.
Yeah, well, we've been talking about pray and the wave.
Oh, the wave.
No, well, no, it's actually surrender.
Oh, surrender.
The word surrender has come up and come up and come up, and I can't remember who mentioned it the first
Well,
time.
remember though, when you and I were talking, I was talking about the fact that Mars is in Pisces now. The planet of what drives us is in Pisces, which is the sign of the ocean. And unconscious Pisces energy can be in the undertow of, you know, being in the waves. So surrendering to, we talked about that. I said that my father, when I was a kid, because I grew up on Long Island and we used to go to Jones Beach, and he would say, if you get caught in the undertow, don't fight it. Just let it, you know, let the sand go in your bathing suit, but just know you're going to come out on the other side. And I guess if I'd remembered that the last 2 months, that would have been a good thing to remember, because Mars hasn't been in Pisces that long. But so for that to be the word of the week would make perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, surrender, because I'm sure there are many of you on this call that have either, if it hasn't been you, you know people who have had to surrender on a whole new level, whether it's to, this isn't my job anymore, this doesn't define me, making money this way doesn't define me, living here, what, I don't know what. I just know I was caught in the undertow of the fear of that. And then when I subtly sort of started to emerge in the last week, I went, oh my God, Venus retrograde must be part of it, because I'm reconnecting to my own value, to my own worth of, and I don't know what that looks like, and I don't have to, but just reconnecting to that and then having the conversation with you. And I did my teleshow just before this, and I talked about what I just shared with you guys, because I'm a Libra and double Venus. Well, Libra wants to share. That's your moon sign, Cindy. I mean, Libra, and I was totally disconnected from my desire to share, because I kept going, I can't take in any information. Just put me in front of the TV. Let me watch movies. I cannot take in anything right now. And then I would feel guilty about it, because I'm supposed to serve. I'm supposed to be here to help others. And when I don't want, I just want to eat and sleep and watch TV. But thank you for helping me see that that was a way to serve, because that's where I needed to be.
And let me unpack that just a little bit.
Yeah, please. Well, Scorpio's rising now, so go for it. Be the therapist. Do your therapist thing. It's our special degree, 26 Scorpio.
This is when you started sharing, and Lorelei said, I'm not being of service. And I said, yes, you are, because you're holding a space for people that are going through the same thing. It's an important role. And the reason you had to go into hiding is the very thing that I was just talking about. You didn't want to have to take on everybody else's stuff.
Yes.
You want to protect yourself. So this whole experience, Lorelei, I've told you always that you are an empath more than you've ever known. And you said, I don't know. And you've kind of, yeah, I guess I am. But now you know fully. And it started long before we even knew there was a COVID. You knew something was coming, and you were being called to understand something. We felt it. Something was
When
coming.
you and I, when we did the shadow, when we did the collective, whatever we called it, the shadow, and I remember saying, and I think Ann, you were in that group, and so were you, Mary, I believe, and I think you were Maureen as well. I remember saying, I'm really angry. I am really pissed off. Well, bladder, I'm not having any bladder issues now, but I was having bladder stuff, and I was aware I was pissed, and I thought, well, it's expressing in my body. And you know, Uranus is in Taurus now, so a lot of us are living things through our body that we might love and that we might not love so much. It's like a whole new way to be in the body. So to not be able to sleep, for instance, I was so aware of my body and so just totally absorbed in that, you know, and then knowing that sickness is a defense against the truth. And I'm not going to have any argument with anybody here about that. Well, that's a Course in Miracle conversation, but I got it. And I went, oh my God, I'm starting to be able to sleep now. Isn't this interesting? Because my world, if I already said this, I apologize because I said it on my show. My world got really small, you know, really small. I'd go on Facebook and go, oh, I wish I were where they are. I wish I were where he is. I wish I was in touch with how I'm to be in this and how to serve with this at my age, you know. But knowing that's just a construct too, just like the body, right? I'm this year, many years old. So like I said, I'm just glad to know that I've made the choice to stay, even though I don't know what that looks like. And a few people on my show said, you know, I'm so glad you made the decision to stay. I said, well, so am I, because I wasn't too sure there. And even people that love me like you, I was retreating from. It's like I couldn't allow myself the support that I needed or that I wanted or, you know, whatever. So I guess.
And again, it's also a defense, because when you are like that, you don't need to take on anybody else's stuff.
Yeah, but it's a defense in both ways. It's like, could be a good defense and a not so good, like being defended against, I can't take in any information. I couldn't listen to stuff. I wasn't listening to astrologers. And again, I'm thinking, oh my God. And so I would find myself, like before my calls, having to rehearse, having to write stuff down. I wrote nothing down tonight in my call. It just flowed because I knew I was back in touch with the divine in me, which I thought I'd lost, but we never are disconnected from that, right? So thank you for just being there and what you said today, because any last bit of vestige of guilt I would have around, I should have been somewhere else when I was here, when I was there negotiating with creditors. And now I'm feeling much more self-empowered around finances. I don't know what's happening, but I feel more empowered, and I know it's an inside job because it's all an inside job, you know. And boy, could we make it about the outer circumstances now, couldn't we?
Oh, no doubt.
All the COVID, Corona, catch it, don't catch it, wear mask, don't wear a mask, go do social distancing. I wanted to share this with you, Cindy, and I'm sharing it with everybody. I went to home, I was withholding beauty from myself. And one of my good friends gave me some flowers because I didn't want to spend extra money on anything, but I'm a double Venus. Beauty is important. Flowers are important. And I thought, so I went to Home Depot today and bought some flowers and all different kinds of things and a big bag of potting soil, which I couldn't put on the thing by myself. So there was this really attractive guy coming at me, and I was going to ask him to help me. Well, it turns out I know him. He said, Lorelei? I said, Andrew? He's an old client. I haven't seen him in forever. He's a Leo with Scorpio rising. I got to share with him what I just shared with all of you in a way, someone who knows me, someone who loves me. I was totally guided. He totally got it. And he was saying how many people he saw that were there. And I thought, oh, thank you, God, at least I can serve with what I've experienced. But this was a point I wanted to share. When we saw each other and knew that we knew each other, we gave each other a big hug. I didn't have a mask on. I was outside. He didn't have a mask on. There was no even trepidation about hugging. And I'm not making either one of it right or wrong, because frankly, where I was very much in the fear of, I'm going to have to leave my Course in Miracle group because I'm not being authentic here. I'm not practicing these principles. I'm disconnected from God. But then I'm going, wait a minute, we're never disconnected from God. So that's the place. And I thought, when I knew we were going to share tonight, I thought, oh, how perfect, Scorpio's rising. You're Scorpio rising. I've got Jupiter in Scorpio. I think of Shivani with all her Scorpio energy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like I was on being unmasked and I didn't like it. I didn't like what I was seeing. Well, it's like if you don't like what you see, change it, right? Well, I had only 7 wishes on this last lunar cycle, which was mine because I'm a Taurus moon. And one of them was, I'm grateful to be guided to change what I need to change at depth and have it be easy and comfortable. I don't know. I'm just saying, if
Yeah.
it can help anybody else. But when you and I talked today, because you know, you invited me on to talk and I was just so aware, and Andrew, you were so engaging, and Lorelei's going to be on, and I'm trying to champion myself going, all I want to do is go in the closet. I just do not want to talk to anybody. I got nothing. I got nothing for anybody because I need whatever it is I got to give it here, because right now it felt like got nothing. That's shifted. Like I'm still I'm like at the end of that tunnel where I can share it and not have to process with everybody, but yet be real enough, because I see it as, wow, this is good, Lorelei, because this is what you would say to anybody else now. You would say, be as authentic as you can. I mean, by the end of the year, we have Jupiter and Saturn both in Aquarius. Mary, I've been thinking a lot about you because you have all that Aquarius energy. And I mean, you know, like a whole new way to come into your own, whatever that means for you. And Cindy, I did listen to what you did with Susie, and it was great. I really enjoyed listening to her, and I enjoyed listening to what she said to Anne and what she said to Mary and what she said to someone I don't know. But I made a bunch of notes. So if you guys will remind me of that at some point, it doesn't need to be tonight, because I had something I wanted to say to you, Mary, based on what you asked her, and you as well, Anne. Anyway, I wrote it down and I couldn't find my notes. So I just wanted to say that. But
That'll be wonderful to unpack that. I would love to have both of you on here.
That would be fun.
Because she's, as I said, this is the way I look at you too. She's very secular in the way she does it, and you are very spiritual, and so you come at it, you know, in different ways. And I would love to hear your conversation.
Well, I would love to hear it, because I would love to share with her my whole cast of character thing, because she's a Scorpio with Sagittarius rising.
Yeah.
And I saw both of those in her.
Yeah.
She's very dark, so I could very much see the Scorpio energy. I also saw the humor. Is she a New Yorker? Is she from Long Island or New York? Or
I think she is from around that area.
Because that's what I picked up on that. That would be really fun.
Yeah, that would be great. We'll have to plan that. I would love to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
she's got the whole, you know, marching to her own drum thing.
Yeah, she did. I think she had Aquarius. What was Aquarius? Not rising, moon. I think she has an Aquarius moon.
Aquarius moon, I think it was.
She said. But I wanted to listen to see what I could learn, and to see, you know, to use it I was using it for research. Yeah. And that's another conversation, but I enjoyed her because I felt, and I would love to know that, I felt kind of a New York vibe from her, and I would feel that kinship because that's where I come from.
That's where you grew up.
But what I was going to say, and I wanted to offer to everyone, you know, we're in a new moon until Tuesday morning. This is a time to plant seeds of what you want to grow in your life. And I'm happy if anyone wants to email me, Cindy, I was thinking about this, you know, if anyone wants to receive my Gemini new moon wish list suggestions, because there are a number of them on there that I created with the combination of the fact that Mars is in Pisces, that Mercury and Venus are squaring Neptune. We don't need to get into the technicalities of this unless somebody on this call is interested in that, because I think that's too technical. But just know that that new moon in Gemini falls somewhere in your chart, and that might be a place that might be more ripe to create whatever it is that's new, that's around communication, that's around information, that might be around your neighborhood, your siblings. That's all Gemini stuff. But with the combination with Neptune or with Pisces, it's like one of my wishes that I'm using on my own new moon wish list is being guided to be a divine communicator of unconditional love. And I don't need to know how that's going to show up, or any of you don't need to know it either, but a divine communicator of unconditional love would very much suit this cosmic weather that we're in right now, with the dance with Neptune and Mars in Pisces. You know, the dreamer in us, really tuning in even more to our instincts, to our intuition, to trusting that, and to trusting that we can have an inner discernment about all the information that's being thrown at us. You know, I mean, I'm Cancer rising, so I'm water rising. And so for me, yeah, I get overwhelmed easy, but I'm so much better. I'm so much of a better mother to myself now than I've ever been. Thank you, God. Thank God for evolution, right? Because that has been, I don't know if anyone on this call has prominent Cancer energy, or certainly Cancer rising. While Cancer is the most nurturing and nourishing sign in the zodiac and can do vulnerability beautiful when feeling safe and secure, it also can be pissy, defensive, overreactive, and overwhelmed. And I have spent more of my life there than but I just outed myself because Scorpio's rising, and I might as well go with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, you know, if you have Cancer energy in your chart, and you know what's interesting, Mary, one of the things in your chart, all of your Aquarius energy is in the Cancer part of the chart. So it's like you're a nurturing mother, but encouraging the child in you and everyone else to be the individual that they are, because you came in with all that Aquarius energy. Anyway, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, your moon is Gemini. This is your lunar, I mean, this is your new moon. You're starting your whole year over emotionally now.
That's
And
for Mary.
Mary has the moon in Aquarius.
Mary, are you there? You want to unmute yourself? Do you have questions?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it's so even what you asked about, and I forgot exactly what it was, but I know you talked about a pet with her, and you talked about an intuitive sense that you've had forever. Well, all of that Aquarius's energy is in a water house. It's in a house of water. So knowing your own emotional foundation, Cindy has 3 planets in the 4th house. I have 4. You have 5.
Oh my goodness.
Well, 3, 4, 5. Why does that not surprise me?
Well, and look at what you created, Cindy, a family here, and a space emotionally for people to be able to come and share your Libra moon. So,
Sure.
excuse me. So when I saw it was your new moon, I wanted to offer that, and also that intuitive sense of yours comes from, it's such an interesting dichotomy, because Aquarius is about the collective, it's about the group, but you have to know yourself on an emotional, personal, foundational level. It's the Cancer house.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, once you're feeling, I can say, I'm speaking to myself, I'm speaking to Cindy too, once you feel safe inside yourself, then you can really allow that kooky, crazy, beautiful Aquarian energy to come out. And I just wanted to say this, but I want this to be on the recording, because Cindy, you and I had this discussion today. When Ferris was going through his open heart surgery, I was very much aware of, I need to open my heart. I hope I don't need to do it that way, but God, please help me open my heart. So I was very much, as I'm sure many of you were, on that journey with Ferris. It's sort of like he's just having the courage to go through it on a physical level. I mean, you talk about left gate, light brigade. I mean, geez, you know. And
we've all talked about that, Lorelei, that he helped us open the heart. And then I was given, and I don't know, Joan, if you can answer this, or anybody, but I just had this need to just pull at the breastplate and just open and do an exercise. I don't know if that's an actual exercise. I've never seen it, but it just felt really important, Lorelei.
That's what I was doing. I
Yes.
couldn't too. I need to open my chest, that I was doing exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
And going, I don't really want to have a heart attack. I don't really, I mean, and my point is, it's what we think. We all know this, right? We know the body can be healed, et cetera, et cetera. We know what we say is important, how we, and the words that we use. There was someone on my call that said, oh, and she's a Gemini moon too. And she said, in what she was delivering, she said, I got to get out of this job because it's killing me. And so after she finished sharing, I said, you know, Susan, I said, you might want to say that a little bit differently. You might not want, I mean, we know that's pretty basic, right? And she's a Gemini moon too, so it was her energy she was in. I said, you might want to say that a little bit differently. I mean, that's real basic, that's real obvious, but that's the beauty of planets in retrograde. Stuff stands out bigger, broader, in more color. I mean, so it's almost like, yeah, we can all go out if we choose to, wherever, maybe a little bit more. I'm getting my toenails done tomorrow. I'm getting them done, right? What my point is, but still maintain the inner focus, still maintain the trust of the divine and our own intuitive guidance. And I'm speaking really from my own immediate experience over this last almost 3 months, and not, like I said, not knowing that I would come out on the other side, and really withdrawing from people who love me, you know, who wanted to help. And, you know, and my point is, I'm obviously not the only one feeling this, you know, right. But I knew that if I could at least get enough of the gift of it, then I could feel a sense of meaning and purpose again, which is what I didn't feel.
And here's a really important point in all this that really stands out for me, and I'd love to hear from everybody else too. If all of the leaders out there doing things all were great, let's do things, let's be a voice for everybody, and nobody felt bad and nobody felt like retreating, then everyone would wonder what was wrong with them. To hear your message is more empowering, I think, to many people, Lorelei, than, oh yeah, I went out here and I did this. Now, all I did was listen. I was told, you got to do this every day of the week. And I'm like, holy crap, what?
I wanted to underscore something, because you talked about being an activist, which you talk about a lot, and you talked about it with Susie. Well, your Saturn, we got to do something with helping people do their Saturn and Jupiter. But your Saturn, it's in Sagittarius, which is the teacher, among other things, the truth seeker, but it's in the Aries house. So that is activist. I just wanted to just bracket that. Continue.
Oh, that's the activist? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Big time.
Great. That's great.
Yeah. And it almost, you could take a stance of saying, and I'm going to teach you guys this, whether you like it or not.
In a soft sort of a way.
Because I want to.
Yeah.
First house. I'm going to assert myself in this way, you could say. But of course, you have all that gentle Pisces energy. Your Mars is in Taurus, Libra moon. That's much more soft. Anyway, sorry, sweetie. Go ahead.
Yeah. And again, you know, I just want to underscore, it's so important that each of us, wherever we are, wherever we're led to be when we're going through a difficult time, be that, and then speak that.
Feel it.
Yes.
Because there are other people going through the same thing. I remember, you know, and I shared this before, Lorelei. I know I shared it with you. I don't know about everybody else, but I was on stage. I was doing a keynote, and I heard God say to me, share the story of Danny. And at that point, I didn't want anybody to know that I had a daughter that was a drug addict. I wanted them to think my world was perfect, you know, and I worked really hard to make everybody think my world was perfect. And I kept hearing it, and you know how it pushes up against you and you're like, leave me alone. I don't want to share that, you know? And finally I said, y'all, I just have to share this. And I don't know why, but I'm supposed to. And I talked about her being an addict. And when I was finished, I had a line of 50 people.
Wow.
To talk to me about
you did tell me that at one point in our.
Yeah. And I'm looking around going, it was actually over half the audience. And I was shocked. And I thought, I am not alone. And by not living in our truth, speaking our experience, what we're going through, we're telling other people that what they're going through is wrong. Right. And I really got that day. I have to be a voice for other people who are going through the same thing. And that's when it was so healing for me, and it was healing for them too. Some of those people I'm still in contact with.
And you know what else?
One woman who was an addict herself.
When you say that, when I think of all the energy it was taking for me to cover up where I was, to cover up and not be real, and yet have somewhat of a public forum and say, okay, got to do a miracle minute now, got to do a miracle minute. I mean, it would take me 6 takes to do a 1 minute. I'd go, is it a minute yet? To myself, I would be saying, because it wasn't coming from the flow. Whereas now, again, I sang today on my miracle minute because I unleashed God. I mean,
Opened up.
I just
Yep.
reconnected to myself.
Yes.
And so, and knowing that that could be a message that could help others, that excites me. And it's real.
It is real.
Right? I mean, all that energy, I was preparing, I was over preparing for sessions with clients because I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
So I was looking things up in books like, oh, they're in this transit, I better share this with them. And
And
instead
you
of,
were just coming in on yourself, Lorelei. You were just backing up and saying, oh. And yet it was all there, and then it turned around for you.
yeah. Were you just doing that a havening technique? The havening technique?
Yes.
Yeah, I just recently watched. Did you guys do that? Or I watched
I love
some.
this.
It was a Mind Valley thing, and I watched
It is Mind Valley.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've
watched
done it all my life.
It's so fourth house. You started to do it before, and I saw it, and I went, "Oh my God, that's that!" I have my notes right here from just having watched that.
And my granddaughter does
And
that
this,
to the
right?
baby
And then
all
the
the time.
face.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
she
never
does
thought
it to the baby just intuitively.
It
that
is.
is so. It's so
She's a
soothing.
Cancer.
Isn't it soothing?
Yeah, and it's so Cancer, and she's a Cancer, Sarah.
Yep.
I know. It's so soothing. You just did it before. Thank you for that.
Thank
So
you
the
for
whole thing
everything.
is
I love,
the
all of
authenticity.
us.
Like the
What we
world,
share is just so amazing. But
yeah, I mean, the world needs our authenticity. And I knew that in my head in the last couple of months, but I couldn't get there. And when you stepped up and said you were going to do something 7 days, and I thought, good for her. God, I'm glad I'm not a Pisces, but I'm a Sun Neptune and Libra. But it was like, how is she going to do that? I couldn't
I
even.
had no plan. I want everybody to know I had no plan. I was
you
just
are who you are, darling. You are so beautiful.
For sure. I mean,
You
so.
are so
And it
beautiful.
was so in keeping with who you are. And when you said to me on a couple of occasions in the very beginning of all of this, when I wasn't as depressed as I got, but I was still spiraling down. And you said, I used to get visions of delivering blankets, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing either, but you were saying, I'm stepping up, and, I'm going to be one of those. I'm paraphrasing what you said, but I'm going to be one of those signing up for the next mission, for the next Star Trek adventure. And I'm not so sure. I don't know where the hell I'm going.
And you know what I was told? That's what I'm doing here. I'm handing out blankets.
Yeah, totally.
You are.
That's what this is. I forgot to tell you guys that. I forgot all about it. And I said, when is the point going to come when I'm handing out the blankets? I saw it when I was 10 years old. And I was told, you are.
Totally.
Here.
And I give you a blanket named Lorelei, and I give you a blanket named Joan, and I give you a blanket named Masami. And
that's what you did for me this morning. That's what you
Isn't
did for
she
me.
great?
You gave me a blanket. I was sharing with you all of this, and you gave me, it's exactly what you did. And here's the blanket.
everybody, let's do this.
Oh, it's so great. And in a new moon.
Isn't it great?
We're all being birthed again. This is the rebirth time. So what a perfect time to stroke. So you're saying Sarah does that with the baby?
Yes.
Oh, look
She's
at
doing
that.
it all the time instinctively. She does it with herself.
Yeah.
And across her chest. She'll do it across her chest.
Yeah.
And she does it instinctively, and she does it to the baby. She is the most natural mother I think I've ever met.
So that's a perfect example of all the data that's flying at us now, right? This one's got a webinar, that one's got a webinar. Do I look at the food thing? Do I do this thing? Know that you'll get the nuggets of information that you need, because I watched that Mind Valley thing because I thought, oh, stress and anxiety. I wasn't taking anything in, Cindy, and all of a sudden I was ready to take stuff in. And so I thought, well, I think I'll watch this. Well, I don't remember a lot of it, but what I do remember is what you did. And this, and that made an impact on me when he did it and when he said it. So here it comes up as a nugget of information that very much speaks to how to self-soothe. And that's a good advice anytime, but at a new moon especially, because we're empty. We're like babies at a new moon. We're like waking up from a sleep, And so all the security issues can come up even more. So something like this and the blanket, that is exactly so true.
Yeah.
And there was something else. There was a number of things you said in talking with Susie, but there was just another thing that came up that I wanted to share with you when you were talking about your dad and all the visits to the hospital and him not being ready to go. And when he finally made his transition, you didn't remember that you hadn't been breathing.
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to bring that up is because we're in a Gemini new moon. Venus is retrograde in Gemini. We can have a new relationship and pleasure with the breath, with the lungs, with the arms, with the hands. That's all Gemini connected. It's the breathing apparatus is Gemini. So
that's so great, because Joan is going to do that on Sunday.
That's perfect.
Right, Joan, is that part of what you're going to do, the breathing? Yeah. And Lorelei, I want you to go back and listen to her talk about the chakras and how to align them. We did that before you came on. So it was perfect timing. And just that alignment, I realized how important it is, and to be a surrogate for Ferris.
Yes.
You know,
Joan, what's your astrological information? I mean, you can send it to me privately, or you can unmute yourself and tell me. Do I have your data?
Joan, does she?
I don't know if I have her.
Or not.
No, I think I should do that.
No,
I'm
sure.
sitting here thinking, I've got to get in touch with her. I've got to get in touch with her. Yes, it's going to happen.
And
Yes,
everybody
yes,
can,
yes.
by the way, and I'll put your email address while you're talking into.
Oh, sure. Sweet. Or on Facebook too, if anybody wants to listen to the Miracle Minutes. What's your?
I'll be in touch. You better believe that.
So tell me what your birthday is.
The 22nd of April.
Oh, and what year? Do you mind?
51?
51, and the time?
I don't know.
Okay. So you're born on Earth Day.
Mm.
We have you and I have a sun moon connection. I'm a Taurus moon. That's my moon sign. So
Yes, I'm a very moony kind of person. Oh, that didn't sound good. Strike that. Mary. She's gone. Not good.
Oh, I'm laughing because I love you so much.
you know what this,
I love the way you express yourself.
This is a perfect forum of 40-something people tonight, where everybody can feel safe enough to be who they are at their core and their heart of hearts and their soul, and be championed, supported, uplifted, whatever words you want to use. I mean, that's what I see. Of course, you and I have always had that, Cindy. We've cultivated that. But I see again, and I have to say, and I'm going to call myself out on my negative Scorpio behavior. I was jealous of you. I was jealous that you didn't have any more of a clue than I did, but your level of trust was at a level where I wasn't. And I was comparing and judging, and I thought, oh, I want to be where she is. I want to have what she's having.
But you were trusting.
We have what I'm supposed to have, and that's the gift you gave me.
But there was a trust in the retreating. There is a trust there. That's what I see. Because sometimes when you feel that, you've just got to retreat.
Yeah.
You know, when I felt that way last week, I told everybody, and of course they told me too, because we've got a lot of people who are very sensitive, and they said, Cindy, you can't do this every day. You're burning yourself out.
Yeah. Well, that's more the undertow of Pisces. That's the undertow. You know, it's sort of like, I'll do it every day. I'll be there for, you know, I mean, you're an amazing woman, and you're an amazing friend. And so I know all of you who are here know this, of course, but I felt that rebirth for you. And I was so sad that I didn't think I was going. I mean, that's honest. It's like, I can't go. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know who I am. I don't know how to reinvent myself in this time. You know, I was so glad when our Unity Church decided to do more lockdown until July 1st, because then I wouldn't have to see anybody in person. My beautiful, wonderful Unity family. Hi, Susan.
Sorry, I have to laugh at that one.
Hi, Susan.
And so, Joan, your birthday is, what is it?
April 22nd,
April 22nd.
1951.
But I just saw Masami said that she's on April the 22nd as well.
Wow.
Yes.
What year? What year?
Ooh, what's happening?
Wow.
And
Oh,
I'm Earth Day too.
well, and
Wow.
it's a
No
20,
wonder you're so grounded. You're all about staying grounded, Masami.
and the 22 is a universal number. Well, here we are in 522. Oh my God.
Look at that. I'm getting chill bumps.
No, isn't it
everywhere,
just
y'all.
crazy? Do you know how much I love all of you?
Oh,
And we got 1, 2, 3. I'm pointing to the screen, and all you come together, and I'm just like, oh my. This is
Look at
just
all
so
these
awesome.
massive
I got
boulders.
you connected, and I got you connected, and I'm all here, and I'm turning inside out, and
Well, Mary,
it's hard to
Mary,
say how much I love you.
Mary, what I want to
Aw.
say to you, Mary, you have, well, you've lived your life for every day of your life, but you have lived your life for the cycle, in my opinion, for the cycle coming up 21, 22, because Jupiter's going to be in Aquarius, Saturn's going to be in Aquarius. You have 5, I think, planets in Aquarius. So all I'm saying is, it's really exciting to witness that. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I know you model realness and authenticity, and you're going to have so many more opportunities to kind of let it rip.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that sounds
Watch out,
scary.
world.
Watch out. Thank you.
Here's to that. Everybody grab their
Oh, wait a
picture.
minute. Here's that.
Here's to that.
Oh my God. I'm ready, Lorelei. I am ready.
Oh yeah, Richard, I meant 2021 and 2022. That's what I meant, because Jupiter, I mean, there's going to be a whole energy shift at the end of the year. Jupiter and Saturn both get out of Capricorn. My point is, it's like the universe is laying out, I believe, a red carpet for us to lean more into being real, being authentic, whatever that means. And Aquarius energy models that. So Saturn won't have been in Aquarius for 30 years, Jupiter for 12, but those are both significant cycles. And everybody can use it, whether you have Aquarius energy in your chart or not. But when I was listening to Susie and you, Cindy, and then the people that shared on that call, like Anne and Mary, and there was a fellow that I didn't know. I just made some notes because I was fascinated. I was fascinated to see, what someone else would say, especially since I was more open. It's almost like I was so like, no, I can't take in any information. I just can't, I'm so overwhelmed. And then, like I said, all these subtle little shifts. So I guess if going through the dark night of the soul was that, then this opening that I'm experiencing, a lot of people can experience as well, right?
Yes.
And like I said, when you always give me gifts, but the big gift of non-judgment, of the compassion and kindness of Pisces, because we can all lean into that now. Mars is in Pisces, Neptune's been in Pisces for a few years, but Mars is there now. So, we can lean into the desire and the passion to be more spiritual, creative, sing, dance, watercolors, meditate, sleep, movies, meditation, whatever Pisces constructs. I'm just so grateful. I was walking today going, oh my God, I finally feel reconnected to my life again. I felt disconnected from my life or from my soul, but I think what I discovered was, even though I thought I was disconnected, we are never disconnected. So let me tell everybody that too, right?
Yeah.
And as an empath, you're going to feel that.
Yes.
You're going to feel that. So a couple things that I just want to read a couple of comments here. And also I've got a question for you, Lorelei. Sandy says, another 22, July 22,
Wow.
married a man on April 22nd, who died on September 22nd, and she was married February 22nd. And we all know Ferris was born on January 22nd. So
yes.
We've got a lot of, and this is a 22 year.
Well, it's interesting
It's a
because my
master
daughter's
builder year. So
Yes.
everything that's going on, I want people to realize, when being in the cocoon gets ugly. And when you go into that little cocoon, it gets pretty ugly in there. But when this beautiful butterfly comes out, it's going to be amazing. And it's like that 22 opens just like this.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. This whole year looks like to me. So seeing 22s all over the place. Lewis said 1122. Yeah, that's his grandson.
And my daughter is 1122.
Yeah.
My daughter Sarah, scheduled astrologically, I have to say.
The other thing, and Patricia, she was mentioning the 22s. So a lot of people have a lot of connection right now to that. But the thing I wanted to ask you,
And that's also
find out-
duality. Duality. Two
Yeah.
is duality, which
Right.
is what Gemini is about too. So
yeah,
to
it's
be-
also relationship.
to stand in a space of duality, you know, it's not good or bad, right or wrong. It can be both. And I think we can lessen that gap, you know, between black and white, good or bad, right, wrong, whatever it is. The two, yeah, the connection, partnership, duality.
Mhm.
And the Gemini new moon is at 2 degrees. So there's another,
Oh,
yeah, there's another confirmation.
wow.
Duality with no judgment. That's beautiful, Patricia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question for you at the beginning, I was telling everybody a download that I got today, clear as anything, is start listening to Christmas music. Everybody has to start listening to Christmas music over the next few days.
Oh, nice.
Pull out your Christmas music. Everybody has to stay high. We have to stay high on Christmas music, dance around, whatever you feel, whatever brings you great joy. Polkas are also in there if you're a polka person.
I love
You can
polka.
do
Roll
polkas.
out the barrel. Sorry.
Yep.
Cindy, I can't believe you said that about Christmas. I don't even know what one it is, but John and I are big Hallmark people. I just recorded some Christmas movie
Ah,
just in the last 2 days.
oh
And
my
so,
goodness.
I really want to record this. I mean, it's not even summer yet. And I went, nope, record it. So
Well,
thank
a
you.
download that I got, Lorelei, this last weekend was something was coming, and somebody said, but it could be good too. No, this had dark energy around it, and it's going to slam. It has the potential to slam into like a locomotive, and it is now. It isn't. I thought it was future, and it said now. So in order to get past this, we have to keep our energy as high as possible. And I got that very clearly after I was told, put on Christmas music. And I'm like, Christmas music?
Oh, I'm so thrilled. I
And,
can't
and
wait.
this is really important because we can stop this. We can slow it down. We can't slow it completely. It can come in like a lamb. Instead of a lion, it can come in like a lamb. And that's what I was told is we can do that, but Christmas music, polka music, whatever it is that brings the most joy to your body is key for the next few days for everybody. So
I love that. Oh my God, I love that. I love that. I can't wait to see what movie I recorded.
So astrologically, how does that fit in? That's
Well, so when you got that download, what, and I would ask anybody here, what do Christmas movies evoke from us? What do they call, what do they call forth in us?
Joy.
They call forth family, right? Or, you know, whether it's family disturbances that then get resolved. Let's talk Hallmark movies specifically, obviously, where there's usually a happy end, right? So what is it, if we think of our ideal holidays, but some people don't have those kinds of experiences, the holidays are maybe painful when they think of holidays, but to me, it may be some sort of idyllic state, like what I don't know, the best of what Christmas represents. I mean, it's receiving, it's giving, believing in Santa Claus. I mean, why not?
Magic. We hear magic, compassion, love from Bernadette. Let me see, that's why we love Hallmark, Patricia says. And Penny said peace. And Lewis said the birth of Christ.
Yes.
Such a huge, talk about that huge transformation.
Well, and a lot of healing, because during Christmas movies, a lot of the healing stuff comes up where families have been disenfranchised and then they come back together because it's the holiday. Or I love that you got that. I can't wait to see what other movies I can record that are on Hallmark.
Yeah, and kindness. Look at all this. So see what happens here is whatever negative might be happening, we can move this up. Look at the excitement that we're all feeling right now.
Yeah.
That's lifting up the energy of the world. So that's what I mean by that. To say, no, this is not happening, and why should you buy into that? Which I had somebody write me. What is. But that doesn't mean we can't have an impact on it.
Right.
To say, oh, this is coming is actually empowering, because then you can take action.
Yeah. Well,
You know, if I'm on my motorcycle, and I had this happen, last year, somebody pulling right in front of me. Well, if I saw him coming, and you know what I did? I was able to slow down and let him pull right past me, and I didn't get hit.
wow.
So it's just like that. So you take action or you speed up. I had a deer coming out, so I speeded up. So he went right behind me instead of into my bike. Things like that happen. So that's how you look at that is, okay, I feel this coming. So what can I do? It's not oh my God, I'm going to freak out here.
Well, yeah. And the image that I've been getting so much over the last couple of years, actually, I find myself saying it in certain sessions, but it really does apply to this whole alignment of the Capricorn planets, Saturn, Pluto. It's like saying to the divine, take my raw materials and throw them into the inferno of the universe and ask to be recast, to trust that the universe will recast me, that I of my little mind don't know what that looks like. But and there's the surrender again, surrendering into the inferno of, whatever. I mean, that to me, because for me, that was like being brought to my knees, because usually usually I know I'll get out of a place that feels yucky, really yucky. I mean, I know that it won't last forever. This was not one of those times. I thought this is going to last forever. And like I said, I don't know how to leave. I don't know how to stay. And okay, God, give me a clue. So again, I really want to encourage any of you, whether you believe in wishes, intentions, goals, whatever you want to call them, new moons are the time to plant seeds. And they're beautiful seeds that can be planted now. And if you would like a copy of my Gemini new moon wish list suggestions, you can reach out to me again, either on Facebook or through my email. Because I write those.
The email again, because it was a few times ago.
It's Lorelei, yes. So it's LORELEI, yes, Lorelei, yes, @AOL.com.
Yeah, and I posted it too in the comments right here.
And the purpose of that is just to stimulate ideas in you. So I create wishes around the energy of that particular new moon, whatever the flavor is, whatever the color of it is, weaving in some other planetary aspects. And I write them in gratitude statements. I write my new moon wishes in gratitude statements as if they've already happened. And I got confirmation of that from Dr. Joe Dispenza, who says gratitude is the ultimate in receivership, to be grateful for something before it happened. So I never knew that until recently, Cindy, and then thought, boy, I'm on the right track then. I love Joe Dispenza.
Yeah, I love him too.
He's born on the spring equinox. You think he would come on here?
Yes.
I was going to have him on one time, and I can't remember what happened to the schedule.
I would love to. He's an Aries with Mars in Cancer. He makes his message so safe to me. I feel so safe listening to him. And yet he challenges you. He's an Aries, but his Mars is in Cancer. So when I listen to him, I feel a safe space around me. Anyway, another story.
No, it doesn't. He's kind of in a gentle space when he does it, even though he challenges you.
Yes.
To me, it's just kind of a gentle way he does it.
Yes.
Something pulls in from me that says, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, me too. I love him.
We've talked in person, and he said he would come on. So I would love to have him on. And now that this has all been rekindled, and the days that I clearly get, Friday are important. This Friday, this is everything.
Can I say something about Friday? Remember we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Every day of the week has an energy. Monday is the day of the moon. That's why I take Mondays off. I don't talk to anybody on Mondays if I can help it. Tuesday, mardi in French, Mars Day, action. Mercredi, Mercury's Day. Wednesday, great for errands, following up on things that fell through the cracks on Monday and Tuesday. Thursday, which is a day I love. Jeudi, that's Jupiter's Day. Great day to take a class, give a class, interview. And then Friday is the day of Venus, vendredi in French. Well, Cindy is a Libra moon ruled by Venus. I am a Libra with a Taurus moon, double Venus. So I said to Cindy today, the Friday calls, yeah, you could say it's the end of the week and whatever, but days have an energy. Saturday is the day of Saturn, which is often a day of chores, work. It's nice if you love your work for sure. But Saturday can feel almost obligatory. You know, you go do errands, you know, married couples go out on Saturday night or whatever. And then Sunday, of course, is the day of the sun. So to be meeting, for that to be one of your days, and that would certainly be the day that I would always want to come on, would be on a Friday.
Yeah.
That's our day.
Yep. This feels so right. And as I was trying to get some of the other days, I thought, this feels right.
Yeah.
Sunday feels right.
Yeah,
And then
Sunday.
the ones that speakers want to be on the most would be the Tuesdays and the Thursdays. In the afternoon is better than evening.
Mhm.
And then we can always go back to the evening ones if that's better for people.
Yeah.
So for right now, we're going to do the 4 days, and then we will fill in as people need it.
Was Ferris on the call tonight, Cindy?
Yes,
Oh, he was.
he was.
Second.
He was on for just a moment, but he was too tired. They put a feeding tube down his nose, and it made him really exhausted feeling.
Okay.
But I wanted to say something about new moon wishes
Okay.
for just a moment. This feels really important to me.
And I will be right. I'm listening. I just got to get something on the other side of the room.
Okay. Andrew sent me a list of jokes, which were priceless. And there were just a whole list of them. And people have done this before. But there was one that I isolated and posted because when you have just one, it gets more comments and more thought than when you have a whole list. So sometimes having a new moon wish is more important than a list of new moon wishes. What is the most important thing to you right now? And as I was talking to Gidget, and somebody put toilet paper, is that the most important thing? Okay. You can put that in your new moon wish. But for me, this morning with Gidget, every morning I start my day with our little ritual where we go up to the window and we look outside and I say, what is this day all about, Gidget? It's about green grass, and it's about flowers, it's about rain, and it's about love. Every day is about love. And today it feels like it's all about joy. And what did I get later? Christmas music. I was told, I heard joy. Today is about joy. I don't know that I've ever said that to her.
Isn't Gidget a Leo? Isn't she a Leo?
Yeah, she's a Leo.
Well, that's joy and fun and play. I mean, that makes total sense.
And she's, it's about play. It's about squeaky. And we always talk about what this day is going to be all about.
Yeah.
So this morning, Lorelei, I said, this day is about, and I felt into it, and it's about joy. And that is my new moon wish. And I decided I have one. And it's about joy. I am grateful for the joy in my life. And then later, I was told to tell everyone to listen to Christmas music. And Masami just put up there, joy to the world.
Oh, joy to the world.
Oh my God.
Well, there's two joys to the world. There's the hymn, Joy to the World.
Yeah.
Is it Creedence? Who did Joy to the World? Is that Creedence? No, who did that? Who did the Joy to the World? All the boys and girls. Who did that song?
Oh, who was that? That was
Joy
good.
to the world.
All the boys and girls, joy to the fishes and the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me.
Three dog night. Marianne, three dog night.
And then there's the hymn, Joy to the World.
Yes.
Joy to the world.
We're terrible. Don't get it started. No, we're good. That is joy to me. Singing is joyful, and this group is the most joyful, wonderful group in the world. So sharing with, I just giggle.
Yeah, everybody's saying Christmas music, and somebody just said they've been singing that ever since we said it. So cool. See, this is why we do this. And all I was told, please, everybody understand, all I did was listen. That's all I did, is listen and look what we created. I did not create anything. I was just told, do this. Lorelei, you were told to retreat. We are told what we're supposed to do. And when we listen, magic comes of it. And what I see, Lorelei, the magic of you being able to tap into your own empath, your empathic abilities to feel and hold space for other people that were feeling as you did. And I was told, do this, and look what we co-created. I did nothing.
And it's interesting when you said listen. So if any of you here don't know what you want to create on your list or whatever, just one, ask. I am grateful to be guided to new ways of listening and hearing, because that is another. We listen with the ears, and that's two. And again, it's Gemini. So we really can hear things with new ears, see things with new eyes. The song that I love is the song from Brand New Eye? It's a song called Brand New Eyes, I think, which is seeing ourselves with brand new eyes. Mm-hmm. That's the opportunity always, but in this particular new moon, and anyway, going on into next month, but we'll be talking more about that at other times.
Yeah. Yeah. This has been so fun. This has been like the greatest thing. Let's do our toast. I want to do a toast to Joan and for all she shared. Yes. And thank you so much, because the chocolate.
Gosh, I love you, sweetheart.
I love you, Joan. This is for you. And for Lorelei, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
We love you. We honor you.
Wait a minute, I have a new moon to toast you.
Oh, look at that. Oh, love that.
Isn't that pretty?
You got to tell me where you got that.
Yeah, I just love that bottle.
You have to send to me what the wine is, so I can see if I can drink that one.
Yeah, I hardly ever drink that kind of red wine, but it was there, and I said, this is so perfect. The bottle was just beautiful. So
I can't wait to see the sharing about Christmas. I can't wait to see what's going to come up for whatever's supposed to come up for them. I mean, I'm just like a little kid now. I just can't wait to see what's going to be revealed around Christmas music and Christmas stuff.
So focus all your attention. Christmas, joy to the world. That's what it feels like. And somebody said, what are you getting? I'm getting a dark energy, or I was getting a dark energy that we can hold back with our joy. That's what I'm getting. That's it. And I don't know another way to say it. And it's got to start now. It's not next week. It's now. It's today when we get off the call. We've already started. Yeah. We already started.
Well, and this is a rebirthing time. This is a new moon is a time for new starts, new beginnings. And even with all the retrograde, it's like we have access. We have greater access to what's inside if we decide to use it. So, I know for myself, I don't really have a meditation practice. I mean, I practice when I'm walking, but I really want to do a piece around that, some sort of, whether it's 10 minutes or I don't even know. So whatever it is for any of you, it's like a deeper listening. That's exactly it. It's the message again. Every time Cindy and I would ever talk over the 8 or 9 years we've known each other, she would always get her divine downloads, and our conversations were always about the confirmation of what the other one was saying. Me with my information and her with her downloads, and it was always amazing, wasn't it? You'd say whatever you would say, and I'd go, well, that's fascinating because this is going on in the heavens.
That's been our connection ever since we met.
And we have that lovely sun-moon connection. Anyone you have a sun-moon connection with, this is for everybody. Whatever your sun sign is, their moon sign, the beauty, the potential of that is that people can feel like family, and that you can feel comfortable with someone that you have a sun-moon with. It's like you can hang with them. You can hang, and I have it with my granddaughter. She's a Taurus. I'm a Taurus moon. Anyway, so just something, and it's probably one of the nicest long-term connections in relationship, or the potential. It doesn't mean everybody that has that doesn't have shit between. They might, but the point is that it exists for them to have this, and I don't even use the word compatible, but this relationship that flows and might be easier than some other relationship, because just depends how much energy we want to put into a relationship. We can make any of them work. It just depends how much energy we're going to put into it.
Lorelei, you have Christmas decorations.
Oh,
Yes.
yes, you know what? I just want to share one more thing. In my fear of money thing that I was in with all this other shit that I was in, I had no real flowers out. We have this beautiful black back deck, as you saw, with a cow pasture. Do you know, because I didn't want those plant holders to be empty, and I'm going to take them up now, I have Christmas decorations out on, I swear to God, out on my deck. And I said today, I'm going to Home Depot. I'm going to put those Christmas decorations in a bag and put them in the garage. And you talk about
I love Christmas.
Cindy, can
wild. Oh
Yeah,
my.
Masami, go ahead.
yeah, I just wanted to say this was maybe 5 nights ago. My husband and I, all the sons said, you know what, let's go for a night walk. So it's like after the sunset and it's kind of dark. And we walked around, and so many of our neighbors have Christmas lights on right now. So I said to Chris, I said, we have to put our Christmas lights back on. So
I have 2 sets in my living room.
yeah, so I actually started with, I'm outside in my front yard area, but I just want to show you my Christmas star that I put up.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's right next to my yellow front door. But people said, isn't that a Christmas star? And I said, yes. Do you got problems with that? Because I want Christmas star. So I just want
What is so beautiful? What did I say? The first big download that I got, what did they say? What did God say?
right?
He said, I love you, Masami.
There would always be confirmation.
Yeah.
Confirmation.
Always, that it is truth.
Yeah.
Look at all the confirmation we have had on this call. Confirmation that what I'm hearing is accurate. And that's all I have to know. My ego is not involved in here. As I've said in the beginning, this is not about me. I'm just expressing what I'm getting, but y'all are getting it too. And I'm told that. So we're all getting the same thing. And this is what we need right now, confirmation. I've got like,
Oh,
Cindy, Rebecca just said,
right, Mary?
I know.
Rebecca just said she has Christmas mini lights in her kitchen and always keep the decorations out all year. Yay.
Yay.
Rebecca said something earlier too. Let's see here. I've always heard a prayer sung is twice said. Yes. Yes. And one of the things that we're going to start sharing, I haven't heard from James Twyman yet, but I want to, when we're in the world.
Oh my God.
I want to play each of the songs, one each week, but I want his permission before we do that. So I'm waiting to hear.
Well, can I sing something that
Yes.
you just stimulated for me when you said about when you were praying twice or whatever? This is a unity thing. It's our thoughts are prayers and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. That's beautiful at a Gemini new moon. Every thought is a prayer. So thank you. See, look at that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
Rebecca is a Scorpio sun and a Libra moon.
Oh.
So just, she shares the moon.
Shares the moon, and this lifetime is relationships are us.
Yep.
If you've got Scorpio, Libra, and Sun, Moon, for sure.
And Penny said the toilet paper joke. I used to spin the toilet paper like I was on the Wheel of Fortune. Now I spin it like I'm cracking a safe.
Counting squares.
Yep, counting squares. I found some today, and I've got some construction going on in the apartment downstairs in the basement for Ferris, and the guys were in there, and I was looking around to say, okay, I don't want to tempt honest people. That's what I always say. So I pick up all the tools and everything, and I thought I should put away the toilet paper. I can leave out some of the groceries and the coffee maker and all that, but this toilet paper is valuable. And I brought it upstairs.
I
All
love
the things.
He'll appreciate that eventually.
Well, you know, it is, the whole toilet paper thing is so fascinating because haven't we all been brought to our root chakra?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So to speak.
that's where the focus has been, right?
Oh, I love that, Lorelei.
Yep. That's
I haven't heard it put quite that way.
Yeah.
We have been brought to our
Everybody's
root
so worried
chakra.
about it, right?
Thank you.
Masami, talk about grounding.
Yes. Masami's got it.
I love that, I heard about the toilet paper and the first chakra business, and people need to focus on their poop. You know how much
Exactly. That's right.
And you know the
I'm getting better
number
at that.
444 thing. If all of us could just do 4 counts to inhale. Sorry, I have woodpeckers are going nuts out there.
Oh, wow.
And 4 counts to hold. So in pranayama, you want to hold your breath. And then you breathe out 4. So instead of doing different numbers, everybody just keep doing the 444. That really creates balance, and that's kind of what we need. And
Yes.
I think for Ferris, that would be the great way to open up his heart chakra into the 5th chakra. And because, Cindy, you asked, he can't do these inversion poses, but what he can do is do a little bit of a retention at the 4. He can hold on to his breath for 4 and just pull the chin in a little bit, and that creates a bandha here. So that will create a little bit of a constriction. That could be helpful for him. So I just wanted to mention that the angel number is 444, but you can do 444 in the breath, and that will really balance all of us. And then with the Christmas thing, I feel like it's so important that I say this, is that it's an intentional Christmas decoration. It's not like, the lights that you always have in the summer, but it's more like you pull out your old Christmas stuff out and actually take this weekend to decorate your house with Christmas decorations.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna take some pictures, Cindy. I'm gonna take pictures of the Santa Clauses that I have in my living room, and I'm gonna send them to you guys.
I'm going to bring mine out. I have Christmas trees in my front on my porch. I've left those out.
Bring mine out.
And I'm thinking I'm going to bring out my angel tree.
Oh, nice.
And some of you know about my angel tree story.
Yes.
And for those of you who don't, I just feel like I want to share that because I want to remember it. Yeah. In 1979, I moved to Nashville, Tennessee from Michigan to get away from an abusive marriage. He actually came down here for a period of time and then went back, but he was physically abusive. I had no self-esteem, no self-worth, no skills other than singing. And I came down here under music contract. And I knew it would take me at least a year to become famous. So I'd find other things to do. And one of the things I did is I became a fitness instructor and a model instructor and that kind of stuff. But I just didn't have a lot of self-worth. And it was not unusual. And at the time we still had phones in our house, and I would pick it up and it would be dead because I couldn't pay my bill, or the electricity. I'd come home to a dark house because I couldn't pay the electricity, but I had to keep a roof over our head. So the rent was always the first thing that I'd pay. We would ration food. My daughter and I would ration food. And, it was a pretty rough time at that point in my life. And Christmas rolled around, and I remembered on my daughter's birthday that it was her birthday. Now, for over a few months, I bought presents for her to put under the tree because I knew that it was going to be a rough time. So when they would go on sale or clearance or whatever, I'd get her things. But I forgot about her birthday being December 9th. And so I just looked at her and I said, Danny, I'm sorry, I forgot. I just too much stress, too much going on, fighting to pay the bills. What would you want to do? Let's just do whatever you want to do. She said, I want to go to Red Lobster. And I just thought, well, why not the Taj Mahal? You know, I can't afford it. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what about the park? She said, no, I want to go to Red Lobster. And I said, well, I want you to understand that if we go to Red Lobster, we're not going to be able to afford to buy a Christmas tree. And getting a live tree was always really important to her. And she turned and she looked out the window for a moment, and then she spun back around and she said, let's just decorate the trees outside because I want to go to Red Lobster. And I said, okay, just as long as you understand we're not going to have a tree this year. She was fine with it. So we go to Red Lobster, we walk in and they seat us. And not long after we came in, this man came in with his wife, and they turned and they stared at me. And they continued to stare at me as they were being seated. And they kept turning around. It was making me uneasy. And I'm like, you know, why are these people staring at me? All through dinner, they continued to stare at me. And at the end of the meal, I got up, you know, I grabbed my daughter and my check, and I was heading up front to pay. And the man called me to his table. And he said, I'm sorry for staring. I'm sorry for making you uncomfortable, but you look like somebody my wife and I knew 50 years ago. And I know you can't be her, obviously, but you just look like her. And won't you join us? And so I sat down and chit-chatted for a few minutes. And I said, well, it's my daughter's birthday. She's got school tomorrow. I got to leave. And he said, well, it was great talking to you. And as I got up to leave, the man reached over and he took the check out of my hand. And I said, no, sir, this is mine. And he said, you know, I would like to take care of this for you. I have a feeling you could use a break. And the only thing that I ask from you in return is that someday, when you can, and you will be able to, pass it on to someone that needs your help. My daughter and I left. We got in the parking lot. She starts jumping up and down and saying, Mommy, now we can get a Christmas tree. And I still have that tree.
Wow.
Because I went to Walmart or Kmart. And for, I think it still says it on the box, $8.97, I bought an artificial tree. And that is my angel tree. I never put an angel on the top. I wrap it with a ribbon because it was a gift. And it wasn't about, you know, a $20 meal. It was about somebody that said, you can and you will. And he gave me a mission to pass it on. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't think about this man who gave me that gift.
Wow.
And it opened me up to a new understanding of the world, that not everybody is bad. Not everybody's going to beat you. Not everybody is going to hurt you. That there is love in the world. And so that woke up in me the person that says, you know, I'm paying this forward. He gave me that message. And I went out looking for him. He told me his name. I called the bank where he said he worked. Nobody ever heard of him. I kept looking for him. Nobody ever heard from this guy. And to this day, I believe he was an angel.
Yes.
And so when I think of Christmas and I think about everything we were talking about, I think of my angel. And the tree that I want to put out is my angel tree that I still have. It's pretty rickety. I have to wire it to the wall because it falls over now. But it's one of the most prized things that I have because of the gift that came with it.
Beautiful.
So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you, honey. That's beautiful. Only thing I would just like to add to that is a long, long time ago, when I won't go into that, but I was going through a very difficult time after a breakup with a long-term situation. And the only thing that I found was a Father Time kind of angel Christmas thing with the robes and just so much. I said, I can't afford to get that, but I'm going to. And I still have it. I have Father Time with those beautiful flowing robes that looked like Christmas. And then I have another one of the white robes. And then the one that goes on top of the tree. And I keep them up all year round to remind me of just what you were saying, Cindy, the beauty of that tree. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. And the gift of hope is what Patricia said and Sherry said. What a beautiful story. Thank you. It's one that guides me every day. There's not a day that I don't think about that. And even my daughter will say, do you remember that guy at Red Lobster that paid for our meal? She'll still even bring it up. Remember that guy? Oh yeah, I remember him every single day. His life changing. Yep, DJ said that is what's real. Anything that anybody wants to raise your hand? Anybody that wants to share anything? I don't want to hold up anybody too long. Yes, Bernadette?
Mike's been wanting to say something, but look what we found in the garage today.
Okay, we're cleaning our garage, and we're going to put this away. And it's been sitting in our hallway.
It's been in our hall all week long.
All week long.
And then I was going to say that Archangel Michael says that a bowl of lemons is the energetic resonance of joy.
Oh, nice.
And I was guided today to put out a bowl of lemons. So it's amazing how all this stuff you're talking about with joy and everything, I was getting the same messages. And
we're all connected as a community. See this? And the confirmation after confirmation. This is,
and
thank you.
Michael had something happen to him yesterday.
Something very unusual happened yesterday. I was at Home Depot also. Been making me work a lot. And out of the blue, and the reason I'm telling you this is I'm asking the group to give this person a blanket. Out of the blue, this woman came out of Home Depot with a little boy about 10 years old. And I don't think it had anything to do with him. You could tell the distress on her face. She was crying. Tears were, tears were rolling. I knew something had happened. I didn't know what happened. And I was wiping stuff down and put it in the vehicle, and I couldn't take it anymore. I walked over to her, and I stood outside of her car for a moment. And she was on the phone. She had stopped crying at that point, I think, but she was still distressed. She rolled down the window to see what I had to say. And I told her, I said, I'm just sending love to you and my thoughts and prayers to you also. I said, I could see, or first off, I said, I could see that you're distressed. And I said, and upset. I said, I don't know what's happened, but I know that there's something's happened. And I just want to let you know you're loved. That's it. Mm. And I'm not saying that for gratitude. I'm saying this because I would like for the group, if they would, to send the blanket to her. I don't know who she was.
You know, yesterday was the World Meditation.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for doing that and for being, it's so many times people are hurting and other people, they're so busy with their own lives, they just walk right past and they don't even know.
Mm-hmm. Bernadette didn't even know about this. She just now, this is the first time she's heard it because I didn't want to talk about it. But I felt like I needed the group to give her a blanket.
Thank you. And I love that phrase, give her a blanket.
Yeah.
And I'm putting that on our list of our community things that we're doing. the meaning of the blanket.
Yeah,
Thank you.
a love blanket and prayers.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
now that Michael says that, before I tell the little story, but I was in church one time when I was going through my terrible time with my divorce and everything. And I remember I was crying and I had knelt down, and the girl next to me, she just took her hand and just put it over my hand and then put it on my shoulder. And just that compassion makes you feel so loved. It's just a wonderful, how just this touch, whether you touch them, through the voice or, letting them know they're loved or just a touch, it means so much.
Yeah, she said she started crying again and saying thank you, by the way. So she
So,
appreciated it.
These are important things for us to do, but yesterday was World Meditation Day, and I was guided to send my daughter the link for the meditation. And she had my grandson do it with him.
With her.
And he had an experience where my mother died of leukemia 4 years ago. And she appeared to him and she gave him a hug. And she told him he was loved very much. And my daughter touched him at that moment, and she felt a bolt of energy just go all through her body. And Lamont started crying, and he didn't
him.
know what it was.
Yes, it scared him.
And so she called me right away after the meditation, and she says, "Mom, listen to what happened to Lamont. He's only like 7, and he's kind of autistic." And the reason she wanted to do that was because I had had that same experience with my grandfather when he died, when I was a little girl, about 4. He came in through my window the night he died, and he was dressed in white, is the way I describe it, but he was probably in his spirit form. And she wanted me to explain to him that that was something that was not scary, that it was, had happened to me, and it had happened to him. But it was something that really touched our hearts.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
A beautiful on the angel tree. Beautiful. Thank you for telling us.
Thank you. And thank you. Sometimes we give the blankets and sometimes we receive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's called paying it forward. And that's what that day,
Well, we get gifts in all different ways. Lamont got one from the other side. Michael gave one. I got one,
It was a miracle day yesterday, I think.
Just all full of different things.
Or love. Just love. The joy.
And I love the lemons too, by the way. And I just planted all kinds of lemon thyme, lemon grass, lemon balm, all kinds of lemon.
Yeah, lemon. I think because they're yellow, and yellow is, joy.
Yeah.
The color yellow is the energy of joy. But when you put a bowl of lemons out, anybody who passes by the lemons gets a burst of joy energy. So that's all.
That's so great. Thank you. Well, I want to say good night. Lorelei needs to go. She did a show before this one, and she did this one. And Lorelei, do you want any final thoughts you want to say?
Just, it was wonderful being with all of you. I hold whatever you wish for yourself. I hold that for you. If I can be of service in terms of helping with New Moon Wishes, or if you'd like, again, a copy of my New Moon Wish List suggestions, just, again, reach out to me either on Facebook or through email. And I just look forward to our next divine connection. And may we all just, love everything that comes up. Because again, the choice, yes, what's going on out there, we can't control, but I can control. I didn't think I could, but I control whether I'm going to be afraid or whether I'm going to love. Everything's either a love or a call for love. And so I just want to live that in my life and be guided how to do that, and wish that for all of you, that you just, step into your most authentic self where it feels really yummy.
That was awesome, awesome, awesome. Any final comments from anybody? No? If not, then let's just all unmute ourselves, hold up the glass. It's so good to see everybody. Thank you.
Right.
We are the
Thank
world.
you.
I love it.
We are the people.
Christmas. Christmas.
Love
Joy, joy, joy.
Thank
In
you.
my heart.
Bye.
In my heart.
Thank you.
Love you
There's a
all.
light
Down
shining.
in my heart to
It's
stay.
coming all our way.
To the world.
Oh, this has been a very interesting one.
Beautiful. I will see you on Sunday, everybody. And Joan will be with us again to share more. I love you all.